reservations and long lines at national parks even add to the RV woes. What's up, live viewers? How's everybody doing today? All right, now, not only, as we just talked about, with the campgrounds and campsites and the closing of BLM land, now we have the national park systems. Yes, they are requiring reservations just to get in. That's right, some of the national parks requiring a reservation. And the reservations are from the hours of 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. So what does this do? This means that if you want to get into the park and you know about this, because some people don't, what you have to do is people start queuing up early so they can get in before the 9 o'clock reservation time. So there's these long lines. So you could travel across country or for hours, get there, sit in a nice long line, and when you get to the front of the line, it could be 9:02, and guess what? You don't have a reservation, you are turned away. Now, as I said, you have to get these reservations and you have to do it online, and there is an additional fee to process it online. Now, the fee's not much, it's just a couple bucks. However, that's now. As time goes on, you can guarantee this price is going to go up and up, and there's going to be more rules and regulations and hoops to jump through just to even get in to the national parks. And again, with some people not even knowing that you have to have a reservation now, the lines are long, long, long. And you could be sitting in lines for hours. And again, after sitting in those long lines, you still can be turned away.
CBS TV in Denver had a story with their reporter standing out in front of Rocky Mountain National Park, showing huge traffic jams and all sorts of confusion about the timed entry. Many people didn't even know that it was in effect. They interviewed one visitor who, with his wife and kids, drove 3 hours to get there, only to be turned away.
Now, some parks don't require you to have reservations to get into the park. However, they do require you to make reservations to go see certain sites and things. As an example, Acadia Park. If you want to go up Cadillac Mountain to see the first sunrise in the continental US, yes, you must make a reservation. Now, not only does this cause bottlenecks, lines of traffic for people waiting to get in before reservations are made, but whatever, when you get in, sometimes there's reports of parking lots are even full, and there's not even a place to park even after you do get in. Yeah, even after you made your reservation, and some of those people that stayed in line and got in without a reservation, yeah, the parking lot's full and you don't even have a place to park. And then if you get to some of these hiking trails, it's shoulder to shoulder. People are everywhere. They are lined up. They're trying to pass each other, going every which way on the trails. It's just crazy. So yeah, it's getting wild, even in the national parks.
There were massive traffic jams getting into the park's south entrance. But even once you got in many cases, there weren't any parking spots. All the parking lots were filled and people were driving around and around, sometimes for a couple of hours. And the trails were jammed too. One photo we'll share on our YouTube version of the podcast shows how crowded the trails down into the canyon was. At Arches National Park, we saw a photo of so many people hanging around on the rocks that it looked like a crowd for a music concert.
All right, I know some of you are going to say, well, what's the big deal? Who cares? Who cares about the national parks and how crowded they are? What does that have to do with anything? Well, let me tell you. You have that, all this stuff coming up with the national parks and making reservations just to get in. And all the campsites with all the overbookings and booking a year in advance. What happened to that? This is the free, cheap and easy life. We already discussed in the previous video that it's not very easy anymore. And cheap, yeah, it's starting to be just as expensive to get yourself into a decent RV as it is to get into a house. And yes, even used RVs, the prices are going up. Now you have your freedom. Oh, we're free to go wherever. Oh, are you? Are you free to go wherever? Can you just say, well, I want to go from here to here and then just go do it? No, you can't. You have to book a year in advance. You have to get on and make reservations. You can't just meander and wander and go, oh, hey, let's go over here and do this. No, you have to go from here to here to here to here. So you can meet your reservations. You have to set up all your reservations a year in advance, and you have to go boom, 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 boom. You're not free to travel wherever you want. And even the part-timers or the weekend warriors or the vacationers, whatever you want to call them, they too, okay, I want to go to work. I'm going to go tell the boss I want to put in for my vacation next year. So now you have to go, you have to set up your reservations and book a year in advance. And then you got to go get your time off. And then you have to do that every year. You can't just go, hey kids, you know, next month, let's go on a vacation. No, you can't do that anymore, can you? You can't. You have to book in advance. So there is no more freedom to roam and travel unless you want to sleep on the streets. Oh, well, you can't do that because municipalities are making it so you can't overnight park. Well, I'll just go to Walmarts. Well, the amount of Walmarts that are allowing you to park is getting smaller and smaller and smaller, along with the Cracker Barrels and everywhere else. So everywhere that you guys are going to RV, to camp, to do whatever, to live your lifestyle, it's getting harder and harder. And the freedom is going away because you have to book so far in advance. You can't just go, well, I was going to go from Florida to Pennsylvania, but no, I changed my mind. I want to go to Missouri. Well, you can't unless you booked last year to get in somewhere. I want to go to this to see the Arch Rock. I want to go see this. I want to go to Sedona. I want to go to wherever. I want to go to the Grand Canyon. Well, you can't unless you booked and made reservations far in advance. And now what if you made these reservations, or you got this little time crunch and you're rushing around and you have a breakdown? Even something as simple as a flat tire, and you get there late. What's going to happen? Oh, sorry, we gave it to somebody else. So now instead of your leisurely little cruise around the country, RV and seeing the sights, now you're rushing like fools from spot to spot to spot because you have to book every little route, every little stop along your route. You have to book everything so far in advance, you have no more freedom. It's slowly being taken away. I even recently got a comment from Glow, Glorious Life on Wheels, and she said that she got 3 days for the entire summer at her favorite spot. That's right, she was so excited, woohoo, 3 days. Yes, she was very sarcastic in her comment, saying that she was happy that she got 3 days. 3 whole days out of the entire summer. That's all that was available. And a lot of these places now, that when you used to be able to go in and chill, and even if you got in before that reservation time and you went in and you got your spot, you could stay for a week or so. No, now they're starting to put time limits on it. So you can only stay a couple days and then you got to go. So if you're wondering why some of your favorite nomads are selling out and buying land and everything else, that's why. Because they still want to be able to go and do at their own pace. So they're buying land so they can go back to that land, park and chill, instead of doing the fast-paced RV life, that's the only thing that's going to be happening now. Because you, again, if you're here and you want to go to here, you have to book in advance to get there. And if you're on your way and you see a little sign that says, hey, there's a glass blowing place up the road, and you go, hey, let's go up and check it out. It's only 15 miles that way. You can't, because if you go over there and you waste 3, 4, 5 hours there, you're not going to make your reservations. They're going to give it to somebody else, and then where are you going to go? Nowhere, because you didn't book the next spot. You're going to be shit out of luck. So why is all this happening? Who's to blame? Who are you going to point the finger at? Is it the pandemic? Is it because everybody wanted to go somewhere? They didn't want to fly. They didn't want to stay in hotels. So they decided, hey, we're going to jump in RVs and we're just going to go and we're going to do it that way. Is it because of the pandemic? Because people were trapped in their homes for over a year and now they're allowed to go out and get vaccinated and roam free without their masks? They're hitting the roads and they're going everywhere they possibly can? Or is it because of the RV YouTube nomads, or the wheeled wonders as I like to call them? Is it because the YouTube nomads tell us how wonderful it is, that it is the greatest thing since sliced bread, that their life is so much better, so much easier, so much cheaper than us that live here in our sticks and bricks? Did they convince everybody that, hey, quit your job, sell everything, don't be a slave to the man, like the Bob says, and run on out and get yourself an RV and just drive around and travel? Could it be that the RVers film every single little moment and tell everybody where the really cool spots are? And then when they go back, yeah, it's all trashed. Is it because of social media that spread this trend of living free, cheap, and easy? And even if you don't want to do it full time, you can still jam everybody in your RV or wherever, your van or whatever, and hit the road and go out there for a week's vacation and just get away. I don't know. Whatever the reason, it's happening. And I'm telling you, you don't have to believe me, but it's going to get worse and worse as time goes by. So fire up the internet, get on your phone, get on your laptop, get on your computer, and start making reservations so you can go camping next year. Have fun out there on the road. I don't know, man. I mean, even if you just want to go somewhere and go tent camp for the weekend, it's going to be just a giant pain in the ass. So it's not just for the RVers. It's for the regular folks that want to just have a vacation and go camping. It's just so damn hard anymore. And it's going to get more expensive. And your little freedoms are being taken away just like they're being taken away from us. So you're not really that special now, are you?
This is Blind Views, and that's the way I see it.
What we do here is go back.